How to Communicate with Charisma and Clarity, Dale Carnegie. From the moment you realize that every word you speak carries power, everything changes. Picture yourself stepping into a bright, echoing conference hall. Investors lean forward in their seats. Colleagues whisper in clusters. Your heart thumps. Yet you feel a calm confidence because today you speak with charisma and clarity. You begin not with facts, but with a story. 10 years ago, a young entrepreneur arrived at a networking event clutching business cards like lifelines. She tried to introduce herself, but her words stumbled out as flat bullet points. I run a startup. We do, green packaging. Eyes glazed over. Later, she learned a simple truth from Dale Carnegie. People remember stories more than statistics, so the next time she opened her mouth, she painted a scene. Imagine a world where every soda bottle returns to the earth as nutrients for new trees. Instantly, faces shifted. She had tapped into hope, and her message took root. That young entrepreneur mastered Carnegie's first principle: begin with praise and honest appreciation. Before pitching her idea, she thanked the event organizer by name. Anna, your passion for green business inspired me to keep going through tough times. Anna lit up. The room softened. You felt that warmth yourself. The subtle electricity when someone remembers your name and speaks kindly of your work. To communicate with charisma, you first make others feel seen. Later that morning, you find yourself in a boardroom presenting a new product line. You could rattle off technical specs, but instead you follow Carnegie's advice. Talk in terms of the other person's interests. You open by saying, I know your community values sustainability and local jobs. Our factories will employ 50 new technicians right here. Heads nod. You've aligned your words with their hopes. Clarity emerges not just from crisp language, but from addressing what matters to your audience. After lunch, you step onto a virtual stage to address your remote team. Cameras flick on, and many of your colleagues stare at blank walls or distracted children. Here, Carnegie's tip, use vivid imagery, becomes your secret weapon. You describe growth not as percentages, but as a garden. Our sales funnel is like a stream feeding a forest of loyal customers. You pause. We must water each sapling, each client, so they become towering oaks. Instantly, faces animate. You've turned numbers into living pictures. As afternoon wanes, a junior partner corners you in the hallway to share concerns. She's nervous and you sense her voice quiver. You listen, truly listen, echoing Carnegie's be a good listener. Encourage others to talk about themselves. You ask, tell me about your vision for this project, and step aside so she can speak fully. Her tension eases as she talks. When she finishes, you summarize. What I hear is that you want clearer timelines and more feedback loops. She smiles, relieved. Clarity often arrives simply when someone reflects back our own words. By early evening, you mingle at a casual investor cocktail. The founder beside you struggles to remember names. Carnegie's golden rule: a person's name is to that person the sweetest and most important sound in any language, is your guide. You repeat each new name clearly. Great to meet you, Marcus. Julia, tell me more about your marketing vision. With each repetition, you build rapport. You see the founder take note, and you feel pride at sharing this simple charm. Later, back in your office, you draft an email that will go to 50 stakeholders. You resist the temptation to include every detail. Instead, you apply Carnegie's keep it brief and to the point. Your first line states the outcome. Our Q3 launch date is confirmed for October 15th. Then 3 bullet points: benefits, next steps, and how they can get involved. You hit send. Responses roll in within minutes. You've honored everyone's time. Clarity begets action. In the days that follow, you practice smile even on video calls. Though they cannot see your full face, your warmth shines through your tone. You notice colleagues mirror your enthusiasm. You remember Carnegie's insight. Actions speak louder than words, and a smile says, I like you. Soon your calls feel less like broadcasts and more like conversations among friends. 1 week later, you coach a new salesperson who struggles with pitch anxiety. You share Carnegie's story of dramatize your ideas. You ask her to imagine her product as a superhero costume that transforms a customer's struggle into triumph. She laughs, then lights up as she strings together a mini-drama. When you slip on this software, you step onto a stage. No more fumbling backstage. Her voice rings clear. She grasps that charisma comes from conviction and a spark of drama, not from shouting louder. Months pass. You lead all-hands meetings that once droned on for hours, but now finish in 20 minutes. You open by praising a team member by name. You tell a story about how a small insight saved a major deal. You end by inviting questions. Not because you're insecure, but because Carnegie taught that asking questions makes people feel important and keeps them involved. Engagement soars. At a major investor conference, you face the toughest audience yet. Seasoned VCs used to polished pitches. You feel a moment of doubt, but you recall Carnegie's "Don't criticize, condemn, or complain." You refuse to belittle the competition or moan about market pressures. Instead, you spotlight the unique value you bring, framing challenges as opportunities. Supply chain hurdles taught us resilience. Now we turn obstacles into innovations. Your tone is upbeat. You radiate confidence. The room responds. By year's end, you notice a transformation, not just in your career, but in your relationships. You have become a communicator who listens more than he speaks, who chooses words as carefully as an artist selects colors, who remembers names and stories as treasures. You see that charisma isn't a cloak you wear, but the authentic expression of genuine interest in others combined with clear, vivid language. As you step off stage one final time, you reflect on the path you've walked. You began with simple ingredients: honest praise, vivid stories, real listening, concise language, and wove them into every interaction. You realize that speaking with charisma and clarity is not an act, but a habit that builds trust, ignites ideas, and forges lasting bonds. Now imagine the next time you speak. In that moment you will carry the lessons of Carnegie in your voice, your eyes, your smile. Every conversation becomes a chance to inspire, to connect, to lead. And with each word spoken from the heart and shaped with care, you'll watch your world expand. One listener, one story, one clear, charismatic message at a time.